The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
It's Thursday, January 12th, 2023. I'm Jim Hutchinson with the Fisherman magazine, New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition. And we are just about completely set up today for the Garden State Outdoor Sports Show. It is here in Edison. It's a 4-day event. I think it's the only hunting and fishing show that I know of in the state of New Jersey. And it is here at the New Jersey Convention and Expo Center. That is located at 97 Sunfield Avenue in Edison. It's where all the shows are, right? It's where the Saltwater Fishing Expo is, the New Jersey Boat Sale and Expo. Show hours here kicks off Thursday, 1 o'clock, runs till 8 p.m. That's Thursday and Friday, 1 to 8. Saturday is from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then on Sunday it is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can go to gsoss.com for additional information about the event. I believe there's discounted ticket sales over there as well. But there are some seminars here as well this week. I know that some notable anglers include Ted Ward and our own Nick Konacheski, and some captains include Captain Joe Mattioli, Captain Jimmy Frieda, and my good friend, Captain Austin Pirelli, in here to talk a little bit about fluke fishing. Now, when you get to this show, we are one of the very first booths that you'll see. We are the first booth when you walk in the front door. So make sure you stop by here at the Fisherman magazine, pick up a complimentary copy of the Fisherman magazine. And of course, we have our goodies this year. We do have BKK hooks. Right, you'll get one set of BKK hooks, and we've got some cool ones here. I think surfcasters are going to dig the Lone Diablos. I believe we have the 5.0s and the 7.0s. So if you want to swap out some of the trebles on those plugs of yours, you can do that. We also have some of the BKK circle hooks. Got some 9.0s right here. So you'll get that, but you'll also get a package of fish bites, the Fight Club. These things are killer when it comes to fluke and sea bass. We've got the chartreuse, we've got white, we've got pink, we've got what you need this season for fluke and sea bass. So with these, you're gonna get one package of each. One hook, one package of fish bites. Unless you get a 2-year subscription, then you're gonna get 2. And as far as your choices for fish bites, there are plenty of choices.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
So we had a super time this past weekend at the Wildwood Fishing and Boating Expo. I was there only for a few hours on Saturday. I had other reservations in Philly on Sunday afternoon, so I couldn't make it. But I've got this whole weekend free. That's why I'm going to be here at this show. Thank God for the buy and all. Anyway, heading into the Wildwood show on Saturday, I'm sure you may have noticed if you stood on the boardwalk, but you could see a small fleet working just off the beaches there in Cape May County. Those striped bass clearly have not left. In fact, John Crewan said he enjoyed some of the most awesome striper fishing of his life this past January 7th, somewhere between Cape May and Avalon. He was fishing with Captain Skip aboard Stalker 2 fishing charters out of Cape May. So yeah, those striped bass are still on the swim in the lower part of South Jersey. And believe it or not, there's, from what I've heard, there's a few jumbos in the mix as well. I had reported fish in the 40-inch range. They were taking mojos and some of those trolled shad rigs as well. And out of Lewis Harbor Marina in Lewis, Delaware, over the weekend, we got similar reports, some of the boats that are still running out of there. In fact, Kara Smith, Mickey Slaughter, they hopped aboard Captain Tommy Clandaniel's Lincoln Hookers over the weekend. And checking in with the folks at Lewis Harbor, there were several good striped bass catches off of Lewis, Delaware. Now, I tend to think if those fish in the second week of January, just outside of Delaware Bay, it is possible, maybe, that some of the spawning class stock that we're going to see in the Delaware, because I know some of those jumbos, we've talked about that in the last several weeks, are down inside the Chesapeake off of Cape Charles at this point, probably farther up into the Chesapeake. Now, if we go back along the Jersey Shore, Ocean and Monmouth County, there are still a few stragglers in the mix, especially for folks that are scaling down. Maybe the small sand eel imitations up front with a teaser, maybe a deadly dick, the smaller swim shads, also like the diesel minnows by Z-Man, or the Kettle Creek swim shads. Down low, nice and slow. Bobby at Fisherman's Den in Belmar emailed me over the weekend. He said, don't hang up your surf rods just yet because there are stripers to be caught. He sent a picture of one of the den's regular customers with a bass taken on a full moon night in the last week or so on a Monmouth County jetty. Bob had reports of surf in the Deal area as well, apparently feeding on sand eels. And we have some of those smaller, thinner, whiter baits in the mix as well. Not those bunker, maybe a few peanuts in the mix. Who knows? I remember last year we started seeing some peanuts still in the back in the middle of winter, so I just don't know anymore. Several reports keep popping up along the central Jersey coast at this point. I spoke to Jason at Fisherman Supply on Monday. He said there was a pretty decent bite over the weekend along the Maniloking stretch, down low, nice and slow with some of those soft plastics. I know, man, but I don't really consider that a spot burn when we're talking about 35 degrees and under. Plus, I'm not sure if that's just where folks were fishing. Who knows? Work your favorite stretch of beach. You might be pleasantly surprised. Just like the folks at Grumpy's who said Barney here weighed in the first January striper weigh-in they've had in some time. It was a 30-incher, weighed 9 pounds. That too was caught on a swim shad. Again, I will remind you that west of the coal regs, salty rivers, back bays, they are shut down to striped bass fishing. No targeting, that means no catch and release. Now, I did speak with Marine Enforcement this past Thursday at the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council meeting, where it was confirmed that certain hot spots in the Garden State we're going to see, if they haven't already seen it, increased enforcement during these winter months when striped bass targeting is closed in the back bays, January and February. Now, many of these fish, many of these bass that are stacked up in the back in some of these holes are downright catatonic. They will really slow down. In fact, I've heard some folks actually snagging some of these striped bass because they're just not that active. And I think that's part of the reason why the state of New Jersey many years ago shut down that back bay striper fishery in the Garden State to protect those fish that were holding over slow and lethargic. I will have more on that New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council meeting that I attended last Thursday, but let's start now just getting into our lead image of the week, which was that jumbo tog. If you saw the thumbnail image, it comes to us from the folks at Pell's Bait and Tackle in Brick, who had this monster 21.4 pound tog weighed in by Tommy Fariello last week. This jumbo was caught aboard the Cape May Lady, of course, down in Cape May County. And according to Dante Sorrente, Tommy was using a Magic Tails rod, Magic Tails 1.5 ounce glow or all white jig. On that particular day's trip, 21.4 pounds is a monster, but they also had a 15.6 and a 15.4. So you may want to check in with Captain Jim and crew at CapeMayLady.com for his sailing schedule, because it sure seems like those guys are dialed in to some monster blackfish at this point. I also heard from my friend Gary Caputi. Put a good one in the boat. Also released this fish to swim another day. Tagged and released this bad boy on a 2-ounce tog treat in glow. He was using a 7.5 foot Tsunami carbon shield with the Tsunami Evict reel, which is nice. Get those light tackle spin rods out there, and if you have a pleasant day and if you're not real deep on those tog grounds, it's a good opportunity for you to give those tog jigs a shot. Now, the reports that we got this week from talking to some people for thefisherman.com, those reports that we compile every week, hot and cold, slow pick one day, nothing the next, some banner days as well. But the party and charter boats are sailing out of Shark River, Manasquan, down into Cape May, as we talked about, and also Captain Jamar. I believe he's still running down out of Lewis as well. But if you want to find out more about who's sailing and where, come by and see us. Stop by the Fisherman Magazine's booth, pick up the January edition of the Fisherman Magazine. Once you get inside to the report section that we compile all the time, you're also going to get all the advertisers throughout the state. You're going to find out sailing schedules on some of these boats. The Skylarker, all the way down, the Big Jamaica. It's all in here. It's a great guide for you to check out that report section in our monthly edition of the Fisherman Magazine. Of course, you can find the latest reports as we compile them every Monday at thefisherman.com. Another great option that we find out about this week in making phone calls, of course, is white perch out back. Justin at Allen's Dock in Bass River Township. He said there were plenty of locations off the Bass River and some of those tributaries off the Mullica as well. Got the same word from Dave at Absecon Bay. He said those white perch are keeping folks busy. I even spoke to the folks, Steve, at Smith Bait in Leipzig, Delaware. He was just waiting for a bloodworm shipment to arrive, but he said some of those tributaries and creeks off of the Delaware were also producing some of those white perch as well. White perch, yellow perch, maybe some landlocked striped bass, or even a jumbo walleye on the Delaware River. Let's check in with my friend George, the Pocono Outdoors Guy.
Well, hey, thanks, Jim. You know, these above average temperatures are really driving the ice fishermen crazy, leaving them with nothing much to do. But there's still a lot of opportunity if you get out and give it a shot. Local guide here, Josh Taylor, he was out, well, he took his boat out of all things. The water was open, why not? He went out chasing some of these big old stripers and managed to get himself into a couple really nice ones. So great work there, Josh. If we move over to New Jersey, lots of things to do there. Local angler Jen Wong, he was out fishing some of these largemouth and even got himself into a trophy pickerel. I'd almost call that a pike, as big as that one is. But he was tossing those jerk baits with a little bit of that lip glue on there to help him hold on. So real good work there, Jen. Keep that up. If we move over to the Delaware River, guys like Tim Keebler and Eric Fissler, they are out doing some damage on these walleye. They certainly found the sweet spot and managed to get into quite a few of them. So there's a lot of good opportunity there on the Delaware if you want to go fish that as well. Now finally, my choice for catch of the week, we're going to go up to Rich Bates, and he was up fishing the Lackawaxen River, and he managed to get himself into a beautiful muskie, something I've been chasing for a while. It's been quite a few years since I've landed one, but Rich managed to get this on a trout swim bait in the Lackawaxen River. So great work there, Rich. You got my vote for catch of the week. So guys, it's your turn to get out and get on them. From Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors Guy.
From the Pocono Mountains to the Pacific coast of Costa Rica, let's check in with Captain Ben from Marina Pez Vela and Jackpot Sport Fishing in Capos.
Hey guys, this is Ben Gilmore checking in from Marina Pez Vela, Costa Rica. This week we got the Pelagic Rockstar Tournament. It's the biggest tournament of the year down here at Marina Pez Vela. Right now we got 96 boats registered, hoping for a few more the next couple of days. We kick off fishing this Friday and Saturday. We're fishing for sailfish, marlin, tuna and dorado. There's more than 1 million bucks on the line down here. My little boat Good Day is going to be in the tournament. Wish us luck, guys. Right now out there we got a great marlin bite, mainly blue marlin at the moment, and lots of sailfish too. Just yesterday we released 7 sailfish, 1 blue marlin and a nice big dorado as well. So great fishing going on. The full moon a few days back messed up the inshore fishing just a little bit, but the last couple of days we got cranking again. We got snook, we got snapper, and we got roosterfish along the beaches. Hope to see you guys down here soon. Come and escape the cold. Come and see us in sunny Costa Rica. Back to you guys.
Hey, don't forget your saltwater registry. If you're fishing in the state of New Jersey, it's free, but you got to register to fish. You can go to saltwaterregistry.nj.gov. And of course, you'll need your freshwater fishing license and trout stamp for 2023. That's in place. In Delaware, same thing. You're going to have to get your license in Delaware to fish fresh and salt, and in Pennsylvania as well. Make sure you get those licenses and registrations now so that you don't forget. Now, I mentioned earlier, the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council met last Thursday night. I came away with a couple of notes from that meeting. We'll just rifle through that real quick. The one thing we've talked about, black sea bass and porgies, we're looking at a 10% cut. Don't know what that means yet for 2023, but we should find out soon enough. As far as summer flounder or fluke, it is status quo for 2023, but we also don't know what that means, because as we talked about at the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council last Thursday, does that mean we can use the same recreational harvest limit as 2022 and have a choice between 3 and 17.5 inches or the slot? Or does ASMFC want us to maintain the slot regulations? We'll find out more sometime in March when the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council meets, and I'll cover that information here as well. One of the other regulatory changes that was talked about comes out of the ASMFC as well, and that's with stuff to protect the American shad. So there's a reduction in recreational American shad coastwide in New Jersey. What that means is we're going to go from 3 to 2 American shad. So this season, when this is all finalized, you'll be allowed 2 American shad and 4 hickory shad for a 6 shad total. Another good piece of information that we found out, something we've been pressing for a while, is the state of New Jersey is getting closer to separating weak fish and speckled sea trout. So eventually we'll see a separate batch of regulations for those two separate species. On the striped bass front, the striped bass bonus program is closed for 2022. It will open again sometime later in 2023. But according to the statistics from the New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife, over 11,000 anglers applied for tags in 2022, 155 for higher vessels, all reporting 5,242 bonus fish harvested using the bonus tag, which accounts for roughly 15.6% of the entire commercial quota that is unused here in the state of New Jersey for game fish status. So we still have roughly 85% swimming reserve out of that unused commercial quota. In terms of sampling, the state of New Jersey often does every year does the sampling on the Delaware. We mentioned some of those striped bass that are off of Lewis, Delaware in South Jersey right now. Perhaps they're going to be spawning come spring when we have that April run, right? Well, the sampling response was not a great year, but it also wasn't a bad year. The Young of the Year recruitment, brand new striped bass in the Delaware River, according to the New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife, this year, this 2022 season ranks 28th out of 42 years of sampling. So it's not bad. Not great, not bad. And we're still waiting for the Hudson River reports to come. It usually happens sometime this time of year. I know there's a lot of hand-wringing about what Maryland found out with the Chesapeake stock, the Young of the Year recruitment last year, but I will point out that in 2020, the Hudson River sampling for striped bass was well above the average mark. 2021 was slightly below the average mark. So let's hope we'll see above average for 2022 and some good returns on striped bass there. Now, the next meeting of the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Council will be Thursday, March 2nd in Stafford Township. That's the plan. There may, in fact, be a secondary meeting. You'll find out about it here on our weekly video fishing forecast. I'll be following along with that. Now, if you have any news or updates to share, perhaps an access problem, maybe a question, you can certainly share it here on our YouTube page. Populate that body of comments. It's nice to see people corresponding, but you can also get in touch with me at jhutchinson@thefisherman.com. Again, my name and number. It's in the book. Pick it up. Get in touch with me. Would love to talk to you a little bit more. You'll find that email address in there. And if you're coming out to this show this weekend in Edison, stop by for your package of fish bites, your BKK hooks. Get yourself a new subscription to the Fisherman magazine. Now, one show where we will not be this weekend, but maybe you want to check it out, is on Sunday, the Lacey Township High School Fishing Club's 13th annual Fisherman's Flea Market. That is at the Lacey High School from 9 to 2. All the information is there on the screen. That is on Sunday. So maybe you can find some deals there after you first get a couple of deals here at the Edison Show. Catch them up, my friends. I will see you here at the Edison Show, and I'll see you again next week right here at thefisherman.com.